Previously discussed topics covered the issues of competitive market firms, where they act with equal rights and no market power. Companies set prices equal to marginal cost and only sometimes in small excess of marginal cost. But they do it if they're sure that they will never lose their sales or profit. Price in excess of marginal cost is like a starting point of market power. In this session, we will answer the question of what happens in the market when there are only a few producers or a single producer, and what special committees do to regulate the market. If we consider the competitive market with many buyers and many sellers, where equilibrium price and quantity is identified by the supply and demand, and in some cases having buyer and seller surplus being above or below the equilibrium point. Then, when some of these companies become monopolists, differentiating their product from others, companies will have another conditions to operate in the market. When there is a single supplier in the market, we call it monopoly. Let's again discuss diamonds market. De Beers Corporation is monopolist, and it controls most of the world's supply. We can say this company has no competitor or a lot of competitors, depending on how we broadly or narrowly defining the market. This firm has originality certificates, and this is a brand, and in this case this firm has market power in diamonds market, but not totally monopolized if we consider the market for precious stones. Or going further, we can take it as a part of luxury goods, competing with such a brand like Louis Vuitton or Lamborghini cars. So it means that if firm's good has less substitutes and competitors, then it is more monopolized in the market. Also, if a firm creates a customer loyalty through quality service, then it is one more source to get a market power. Today's companies mostly work on their brand image using different market tools and advertisements. This is also one way of differentiating their products. And companies like sport goods like Nike, Puma, Adidas are the good examples of who have the market power with customer loyalty to their brands. With presence of market power, how companies should set the price? If we consider that competitive firm first chooses quantity, then with market power they change their action by choosing quantity only after that price. Let's remember once again, when companies want to maximize their profit, they set profit maximizing level of output, which is the same for all markets, where marginal revenue equals to marginal cost, meaning that extra revenue from one more unit of product is equal to the cost of this one more product. But at given quantity, price is defined by the customers for competitive firm, while monopolist firm can set profit maximizing price by taking into account the maximum amount customers are willing to pay. Here is an illustration of how it works. A monopolist produces a quantity such that marginal revenue equals to marginal cost. The price is determined by the demand curve. And this difference of monopoly company from competitive firm is that it creates social loss, which is called deadweight loss. Competitive market is always efficient for people as it creates gains from trade. And you'll ask, why monopolists create social loss? A monopolist produces a quantity that is less than socially optimal, and it is a triangle area labeled deadweight loss in this graph. Demand curve here reflects valuation of customers of this good, and below the competitive quantity, customers are still highly value the good, which is even higher than marginal cost. What does it mean? It means that for people, quantity produced by monopolists is not enough, and there could be the potential gain from trade, and that is not being realized. For monopolists, it is better to charge higher prices and produce lower quantity in order to prevent such distortions in the market and regulate the price and output level and their activity at all. They were created anti-monopoly committee in Kazakhstan in 1991, which ensured the effective functioning of natural monopoly entities. As we discussed earlier, if some people are ready to pay for product high amount that is marginal cost, you'll wonder if the monopolist company are missing their chance to get much bigger profits. And in order to answer this question, we have to consider price discrimination topic, which is one of the set of opportunities for monopolists. And this part is a subject for the next online session. For now, let's conclude this session with main points in monopoly market firm. That they have conditions different from competitive market. There is only one seller, which produces output at which marginal revenue equals marginal cost, and low level of output with high prices. And in order to save power in the market, companies should have less substitutes and be different from others by using different innovation and marketing tools. And of course, they have to follow the rules of regulating agencies. In our country, the Committee on Regulation of Natural Monopolies is responsible for regulating, breaking up the monopolies and preventing discrimination in the market.